setting up. Prizes are going to be pretty important. Oh, of course, we have to remember there are a couple of key tech cards now in Mew specifically for this matchup. The Box of Disaster is something that could be very, very interesting. And, there are ways to find that now in Mew thanks to the shopping mall. No.
Not again. Wancho, please. Thanks to, that town store.
Town store.
Yeah, if you don't get it off a cram, I guess you get it off that town store.
I know, if you can't draw into it, you can't get cram, you can't forest seal stone in it.
So many options.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We are kicking off our Swiss Round 9, ending the day here in our day 1 of Pittsburgh TCG Regional Championship. So we're starting over on Alex's side of the field. Mew V is going to be in the active position here. So we're going to see a lot of cards, hopefully, being drawn, but that is all going to be hedged on this Cramomatic right here. No! It was a Tails, unfortunately. Needed a Heads to search out any card in the deck, but we still have options at least here. Ultra Ball going to discard a Lost Vacuum and an Escape Rope to go for another Pokemon out of the deck.
I 100% respect that play. If you notice, he was holding the Ultra Ball first, but hey, you know what? I'm going to get the Battle VIP pass anyway. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but we still have the Ultra Ball.
The confidence. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yep. Yeah. That Cramomatic, if you hit a Heads, you got anything in your hands. But of course, you do have to also discard an item card, and a Power Tablet is the card that was discarded there. So that's a little bit of damage output. That is no longer an option, at least as long as it stays in the discard. Genesect V going to join us on the field here from Alex Wilson, as well as that Forest Seal Stone and the attachment of energy for turn with that double turbo on the Mew.
So there's no cards in hand right now, right? They could use Fusion Strike system, draw 2, and then opt to use the Forest Seal Stone. Or you could use the Forest Seal Stone, find yourself the Battle VIP pass, and then draw even more cards. So a couple of decisions here. But you know what? I love how Alex Wilson thinks. You know what? I'm just going to draw into it. But unfortunately, that didn't quite work out.
Didn't work out there, but hey, we still have that Forest Seal Stone. That is going to give us a V-Star power here to search out any card from the deck. And of course, that Battle VIP pass is huge because then you can get more Genesect onto your field, draw into even more cards, and line up your hand to establish this very first turn here for Alex Wilson.
Exactly. I feel like if there was any deck that really was made for Battle VIP Pass, it's always been Mew, right?
Yeah.
It's Mew. You want to really go through your decks, play as many items as you want, and even if later down the line it's still in your deck, you still have Cramomatics to really discard down. And you know what? The more Pokemon you have in the field, the more draws you get, the more resources you have to work with.
Yep.
Mew, this is why Mew has been just a power. This is why Mew just won the Pokemon World Championships here at Yokohama.
Yeah, we got to mention that. Absolutely. That is definitely huge. So one of the Mew V are in the prize cards, as well as a Genesect V and another Power Tablet. So just keeping track of prize cards here, what Alex is looking through in the deck as well. I'm sure keeping track of all the resources in this deck so far. But we're going to see a Choice Belt come down onto the benched Mew V. And there's only one card as of now left in hand, but that's going to be joined by 3 more because Fusion Strike system allows you to draw cards up to how many Fusion Strike Pokemon you have in play. So 2 Genesect V here and 2 Mew V. Drawing engine built in to the deck. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's your draw engine. It's the attack you normally copy. And right now, I'm looking at the hand. There's still an Ultra Ball. So if there's an Ultra Ball, there's a way we can find ourselves another Genesect. Or maybe just play it a little bit safer because we do, I think we still want to mellow it out. Oh, no, we already have the attachment for turn. I saw that Alex Wilson got the Fusion Strike Energy earlier. So sometimes I like getting that attached a little early. But since we can't attach it right now, might as well just find more Genesects, more draws.
Yeah, and this is why a lot of these turns sometimes take a long time because we're drawing cards, we're thinning the hand down, we're drawing even more cards, and that can add up quite a bit here. But once you're fully established, you're taking huge knockouts. But that is going to be another Genesect V Now 4 Pokemon on the bench here for Alex Wilson. All of the Fusion Strike systems have been used. You can go ahead and clear out this Forest Seal Stone. Of course, you cannot use another V-Star power for the game, but just getting those out of the hand and onto the field is going to help you thin down your hands and draw more cards in the future.
Looks like Alex here is debating on placing down the Oricorio. Again, Lessons in Zeal means it takes 20 less damage. Not too bad, giving Mew VMAX technically 330 HP, maybe forcing the Gardevoir player to expend more energy to really take this knockout. As we go now, we're now into George's turn, opening up with the Fog Crystal. Not as explosive as Battle VIP Pass, which I'm sure he's looking for, but there's a way to find that.
Did you get any eyes on the rest of the hands, though? That is the question, Wancho.
I'm pretty sure I at least did not see a Battle VIP Pass at the very least. But again, Fog's Crystal means you could draw into find yourself your Mew, then from there find possibly the Battle VIP Pass. But right now, doing a little bit of deck checking. Fog Crystal, again, very powerful card in this type of deck where you really want to find energies and your basic psychic Pokemon. Looks like there it is. We do see the Mysterious Tail Mew. It's a great consistency card, especially if you get multiple uses out of it. But yeah, you get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck, and if you can find an item card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Wonder what item he's going to be looking for here.
Yeah, anything to help establish this initial turn. We do have a Kirlia in the prize cards as well as a Zacian V, and that's a 1 copy as well. So just take note that is in the prize cards. Of course, George did look through the deck, so I'm sure very aware of that at this point in the match.
Yeah, right. Mysterious Tail. Last card was the Battle VIP. I mean, I wouldn't mind just getting the Fog Crystal, but hey, I'll take 2 more out instead. Again, what you want to do in this deck, you want to establish your board. You need multiple Ralts in play, Greninja as well. Because again, you're trying to hit VMAXs. That means you need a lot of energy in the discard pile. And Greninja definitely helps out there. Yeah,
you have to get there as quick as possible. Just build up those attackers and be able to outpace your opponent. And when you're going to get some new VMAX, that is extremely important to do for sure. I did see a couple of Pokemon. I guess it's just 1 in there. Is that a Kirlia that's in the hand?
There's a Kirlia in hand. He also has a Iono, so there's still a supporter to play for the turn.
Ooh, and then that's going to be the concealed cards discarding one of those Psychic Energy. We're going to be seeing a lot of Psychic Energy hitting the discard pile. That's just one way that this deck functions. You want to get those into there and redraw them out of the discard pile later. But there is that Iono there. The Cresselia is drawn off of that concealed cards, but it's just going to go back into the deck. To the bottom of the deck, I should say, off of that Iono. Both players going to get 6 new cards to their hand.
Looking at the hand here, finds another Ralts there. Not too bad. The rest of the hand's not looking too good. 2 Boss's Orders, no other supporter for the next turn. There's an Ultra Ball. That means Ultra Ball, you'll find yourself at least a Kirlia. Now back to Alex. Almost guaranteed with this type of board, you're going to be able to attack for sure, right? You have a Mew V, you have an energy already attached, double turbo. All you're looking for is a Mew VMAX, and you have all the draws in the world. But the question is, something I'd like to see from Alex is potentially like a Boss's Orders, because Mew, yeah, it's a good target, but I'd rather target down Ralts in this position. But then again, Mew gets you more cards as well, but we'll have to see. I want to see what Alex decides.
Yeah, what's going on here in Alex's head? That is what I want to know as well. But we're going to start off here with an Escape Rope, that Radiant Greninja coming up into the active, as well as that Mew V.
Oh, that works as well. You know what? It's not necessarily a Boss's Orders, but you're not hitting into the Mew.
Yeah, that is very true. All right, so we're going to see the energy attachment here for turn from Alex. Looks like kind of debating it, but that double turbo energy is going to go down onto that Mew V.
Yeah, so looking at Alex's board, again, he has 2 Mew Vs in play. There's a couple of Genesects. The bench is full, right? That means there's no more space for something like a Meloetta. That means he might be depending on a couple of, essentially just attacking with 2 VMAXs and calling it a day, right? That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing depending on how good George can set up. Because again, if you're depending on VMAXs to attack, that means George just has to take 2 knockouts and he wins the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that could definitely get really sticky depending on how the rest of the setup goes on George's side of the field. Alex gonna draw out that Mew VMAX here from the deck.
Yep. Again, great. It's your main attacker. Definitely great to find off the Ultra Ball. Does have the Judge in hand as well. I mean, George has, I believe, a 5-card hand. One of the ways you can really stop someone from setting up is forcing their hand down to 4 instead. I'm sure George doesn't mind this, though. His hand wasn't too good.
Yeah, it actually did not look very good. But, hey, Alex doesn't know that, so we're going to see that Judge. Both players are going to shuffle their decks and draw into 4 cards each. We'll see if those cards help out Alex Wilson here, but if it's a couple of cards you can dwindle down out of your hands, then you can still use those Fusion Strike systems. So 4 is actually a pretty solid number to be at, as long as they're cards you can play. And at least 2 of those cards are currently unplayable.
I mean, he doesn't really need that much this turn. He has a Feather Ball, can find any Pokemon with no retreat costs, just like the Mew VMAX. I almost debate here if you actually go for the evolution. I guess you could. Sometimes I like to have a Mew open just so I could potentially Psychic Leap if I need to do so. Because again, once you evolve into Mew VMAX, there's technically no more Psychic Leap on the board, and looks like Alex is thinking the exact same thing. But again, if he did opt to evolve into the Mew VMAX, he could have copied maybe Max Miracle instead. But hey, Radiant Greninja at 130 HP. It might just have to be a Techno Blast. Gets to draw a couple more here. Does find the Town Store Stadium. So might not be time to use that just yet. Again, I think he should be fine just attacking here and just trying to see if George finds enough Curlias to start refining. But no, opts to play the Town Store.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, the board is definitely very established here, but the Town Store is going to come down here, allowing Alex to search out that Pokemon Tool card.
Ooh, and a very important Pokemon Tool card it is. It is the Box of Disaster.
This is the tech.
Yes. If this Pokemon's knocked out, you put 8 damage counters on the Pokemon that knocked it out.
The opposing Pokemon,
yes. And typically, you know, Gardevoir decks are known if you need to attack in Gardevoir EX, you have to accelerate energy from the discard pile, and by accelerating energy from the discard pile, you're also putting 2 damage counters on that Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
you're taking a lot of damage yourself. So if there's a return KO on that, definitely makes things a little bit more difficult there, because instead of them having to essentially waste a turn knocking out this Pokemon that was already barely holding on, they get knocked down in between the turns, and it makes things a little bit more complicated. And of course, the prize card race is a little bit different there as well.
Nothing feels better than taking a prize card when it's not your turn.
When you're not doing damage, I guess. Yeah, I know, that's nice. On the in-between.
Yes. Again, George here did have a level ball. If there's a level ball, that means you can find yourself a dream. That's 2 more cards plus the Mew. There's hope here. There's hope here to at least start refining. Again, there's only single prize Pokemon on the board, while Alex has three prizes per VMAX, right? Yeah,
per VMAX. Yeah, and they are very bulky VMAX Pokemon for sure.
George here making use of the Town Store themselves finds the Forest Seal Stone. But again, to play the Forest Seal Stone, you need a Pokemon V. Yep. And I'm pretty sure the only one. Oh, there's a. Well, the Zacian V is in the prizes, but could find themselves the Luminion V as well.
Yep, that's true. Luminion V, that's the only other option, I suppose, in this deck to be able to use that card. So we'll see what happens here. What else is in the hand? It looks like
absolutely
not very much. Yeah, it's just the Battle VIP Pass, which of course can be fodder here.
Ooh, big 2 cards here. Finds the Iono. That means we're going to refresh the hand at the very least. Still has access to Mysterious Tail. I like to see maybe the Iono before the Mysterious Tail so you can dig a little bit deeper. Still has an energy, hasn't attached yet for turn. Yeah, might as well, right? Before we get rid of it, before we shuffle it into the deck.
And put it to the bottom, absolutely. Yep, so that refinement coming in here, you discard a card and draw into 2, and that Iono was an incredible draw off of that refinement here for George. So that hand's going to be shuffled up for both players, going to the bottom of their deck, and they're going to draw for each prize card. Of course, Alex has already taken a knockout, so only going to be drawing into 5 cards whereas George does get 6, still has access to that Mysterious Tail, which we're going to go into the deck here now with. So it's top 6 cards. You can get an item card from those. It looks like 2 rare candy and an Ultra Ball are the options.
I think you grab the Ultra Ball here, or maybe just the Battle VIP Pass just for, discard fodder. I do see an Ultra Ball already in hand. I think it makes more sense to just go for a Curlia this turn. There's no real you don't have enough energy to really threaten anything on the board at the moment. You need 9 energies in the discard pile to hit Mew VMAX because of the Oricorio on the bench. So I'm pretty sure there's not 9 yet on the board. So might as well just keep refining, keep thinning out the deck. But let's see here.
Yeah, it looks like just deciding what order to go in with the rest of this hand.
Yep, I mean, there it is, Ultra Ball. I think that's the only thing playable, really.
Yeah.
And, one more Curlia. The dream would be off this refinement, just draw into another Curlia, or potentially Level Ball.
To get it?
Yeah. You could also go into maybe Gardevoir EX. Why not? You could
that's true.
You could swing with Gardevoir EX. You're essentially two-shotting the Mew, but...
Yeah, I'm interested to see what George decides as far as the prize mapping of this, because like you said, it's kind of hard to go into these giant VMAX Pokemon that are worth the 3 prize cards. Of course, Box of Disaster is on that Mew V on the bench, but then we have a bunch of Genesect as well on the bench. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, but we're going to see the bump of that stadium. Only one stadium can be in play at a time, so we're seeing that change into the Artisan, and George is going to go back into the deck immediately off of that Artisan.
Yeah, our shopping mall turned into a windmill there.
Not as exciting, I'd say. I want to go shopping again.
I don't know, the windmill seems pretty peaceful. I like Artisan.
It's cute, yeah, that's good.
The Artisan can find themselves one more basic Pokemon. Looks like it's going to be the Cresselia, maybe signifying that there is one Ralts in the prizes there.
Yeah, but it has to be a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, so I guess that's also major to point out too.
Yes. Again, Cresselia, Moonglow Reverse. Normally it's there for the Lost Box matchup. But hey, you know what? You can take a knockout on potentially Oricorio. Maybe you can go knock out Mew VMAX, knock out Oricorio, knock out Genesect V. That could be the line that George is going for. Alex here pal-patting back the Judge. Again, great card, but at this point, George has 2 Curlias. I like how both players technically just have draw engines on the board anyway, so
yeah, true.
which is faster though? Which draws more cards?
Probably the Fusion Strike system, I would say. I think so.
I think so. Drawing.
I mean, unless there's a path in play.
Oh, that is true.
But yeah, all right. And speaking of stadiums, it's not a path to the peak, but it is a lost city. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like a lot of players have recently been cutting Lost City from decks, but Alex Wilson playing it in the deck here, at least a 1 copy.
And again, it's a very important card in this matchup.
Huge, yeah.
Our windmill turned into a skyscraper, and again, when you're depending, this is the main weakness, I think, of Gardevoir, right? When you're depending on a single line as your support Pokemon, your draw, and your main attacker, sending even one line, one Curlia into the Lost Zone, it really does hurt. So George might be forced to bump the Lost City, but again, we're trading stadiums here, right?
Back and forth.
And Alex is saving probably the most important stadium that's still in the deck, and if we're running out of stadium bumps, and if that sticks, things can get bad.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things pan out here, but Alex used that Lost City, so if any Pokemon go down, they go into the Lost Zone as long as that stadium is in play. And of course, you can't retrieve anything from the Lost Zone, so that is what we've been talking about here for Alex. But a card was drawn here off the Cram-O-Matic. Is that what I saw? Yeah, it was a heads off of that coin flip, I should say, or dice roll, rolling a 6 for the Cram, drawing out any card from the deck. Mew VMAX is going to be the evolution here. And of course, as we said, that Lost City is in play. Mew is great in the deck, but that draw engine is definitely something to target, and future attackers. Lost City's in play, and that boss's orders just brought up a Curlia with the energy attached onto it as well. And that's going to be going down and be out for the count for the rest of the game.
Yep, I think I like Lost City. I feel like it's such a well-designed card, in my opinion. This is how Lost Zone is supposed to work. You're supposed to knock out Pokemon, send them to Lost Zone to make sure they're not used anymore. Some decks, I've heard, use the Lost Zone more of an engine to really power up their Pokemon. That seems weird to me. No.
Yeah, who does that? Definitely not a majority of the people playing here. All right, so we're back over to Goof's side of the field now. Of course, that Mew coming back into the active. It's interesting. It's like a tiny Mew versus a big Mew. And then we're going to see that reversal energy come into play. Mantra, I know you've been waiting for this. I know you love this card.
Yeah, reversal energy, very powerful card. As long as your opponent has more prizes than you, it essentially gives you 3 of any type of energy. So it's essentially 3 psychic energy here.
Yeah.
That means if this Curlia evolves into a Shining Arcana Gardevoir, you just have to attach 6 energies, and hey, that's 9. That's a knockout on a VMAX.
Ooh, that is very scary. We see a lot of players trying to play around the reversal energy with the way they draw their prize cards and such. But Alex Wilson is currently leading here, down 2 prize cards. Goof still hasn't taken a single prize card yet, so that reversal energy is online at least now. We'll see where it goes. Iono being played.
So not a bad grip here off the Iono. Does find the Shining Arcana. That means they get to draw 2 more cards here. They need to find Gardevoir EX. Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is Gardevoir EX. Now, the next question is there 6 energy in the discard pile so they can take this knockout? The awkward thing is, again, if you put 6 energies onto the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, that's 120 damage. And if you hit into the Box of Disaster, you're also knocking yourself out. You're knocking out your last, technically, attacking Gardevoir here.
Mysterious Tail.
Let's see what else they can get.
It's going to be 6 cards here looking for an item. Ooh,
not bad. Okay. It's always the last one, right?
I know, right? That is an item card. Allows you to shuffle 2 supporters or up to 2 supporters back into your deck here. So a way to recycle. I mean, we've seen Iono after Iono here for George. So those can be recycled with that Pal Pad, but it was really the only option. How many was that one?
I think that was 4. I believe it was off camera.
Yeah, it's off screen. Oh, no.
But I believe I counted 4 when he held it in his hand. Does have an Ultra Ball here. Can discard at least 1 more, but that means 8 energy. No, I don't think it's enough here. You might just have to be Ultra Ball, find yourself another Curlia instead of going straight into the Gardevoir EX. But then again, if you go into just a Curlia, it leaves you a little bit susceptible to bosses. So I like finding the Gardevoir EX here, even if you don't get the knockout. Something you could do maybe is just chase the Oricorio. But you need at least 1 more Psychic Pokemon in play to take that knockout.
This is getting tough for sure.
Yeah,
it's getting very intricate here.
Yeah, the 1 Ralts in the prize card plus the 1 Ralts in the Lost Zone. It just hurts that so much.
It's made it very, very awkward. And I mean, that's why you see the Lost City is so impactful when you can play it on the perfect turn. Of course, that did get bumped now for that collapsed stadium. So both of our players are limited to a bench of only 4 Pokemon as long as that is in play. But yeah, thank goodness that's out of here, at least for George's side of the field. But we're going to see the Psychic Energy be accelerated back onto the board here. Of course, you have to take 20 damage for each Psychic Energy accelerated out of the discard pile. But that is also what is accelerating your Pokemon and this damage.
Yeah, again, it's a big commitment already to do this attack. And this is your only Gardevoir, and you're not taking a knockout here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Something that could get really scary is Alex could bump the stadium, find a Mew V, and just Psychic Lead for the knockout.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not the Psychic Leap.
Essentially negating all this damage, 300 damage.
Let me see here. Yeah, there's 4 Mew V, and there's only 1 in the prize card, so there should be another one.
Yeah, it's just a matter of...
Or unless it's in the discard pile.
Well...
But I don't think so. I think it should be still in deck. I don't know.
I feel like it should be in the deck. We do have a Lost Vacuum if you want to get rid of the Collapsed Stadium.
Yeah.
Retreat onto the Genesis. Oh, just...
For the switch card.
Yeah. Just to thin out 1 card from the hand.
burn in some cards here, and that's often what we see play. You're like, well, why do you retreat? Just to go back into the active, but it's so that we can get rid of some cards here and be able to draw into more. But that Lost Vacuum can also be played here as well to eliminate some more cards off the field.
Yeah.
And of course, that collapsed stadium off the field. Judge going to go into the Lost Zone as well as the collapsed stadium because it's the Lost Vacuum. Putting those cards in the Lost Zone. We see a theme happening. All right, Genesect V. Fusion Strike System going to draw into the first couple of cards here for Alex.
Didn't quite get anything too notable. Does find the Path of the Peak. That could be big here. Shut off the Gardevoir. Again, so many stadiums have already been played. Drops the Meloetta, so removes the Mew option. So it might just have to be either just a Max Miracle here for the knockout. Guess one more Genesect.
2 cards here off of that last Fusion Strike System. Cram-O-Matic and a ball, some ball.
Nest Ball.
Nest Ball, okay. I was like, which ball was it?
But yeah, I'm trying to think here. I don't think Alex really needs anything else. Yeah, again, they can't Psychic Leap, but at the same time, something that could happen here is the Moonglow Reverse could potentially take the knockout on this Mew. That is definitely a way. At least there is an attacker. Path to the Peak, again, is going to be big. If you play Path to the Peak, yes, you shut off your own Genesect Vs, but then you also shut off Gardevoir EX. You shut off Psychic Embrace.
Yep, it does. It shuts down Pokemon with rule boxes that have abilities. It shuts down their abilities.
Yep. And again, unfortunate there that they didn't quite get the Mew. Would love to see the recycle of the Boss of Disaster, just because, George did play around it, where they have to have full HP to get the full effect. And, you have to knock out a Pokemon with full HP. But, yeah, it just might have to be Max Miracle here. Potentially take a knockout on the Gardevoir. Alex will go down to 3. Oh, unfortunately, he can't retreat anymore because he did retreat to do that little retreat switch card.
Yeah, you can only retreat once per turn, or I should say hard retreats, because you could still switch in and out of the active with cards, but only 1 hard retreat per turn. Of course, 0 retreat costs on the VMAX Mew and the Mew V, but still limited to that 1. So just going to go down here to 3 prize cards left to take for Alex Wilson. We're back over to George's side of the field. That baby Mew joining us in the active position here, but where do you think George goes from here, Juancho?
So something he does still have access to is he can play Luminion. That may seem odd. You play Luminion under Path of the Peak, you can't get a supporter, but you can attach a Forest Steel Stone to it.
And you can play Forest Steel Stone under Path of the Peak.
Yes, and from there, that means you can find a way to bump that Path of the Peak, maybe find yourself. If they play Worker, that would be a great way to discard the stadium and then just attack with either the Cresselia, and suddenly you're evening it out. You're taking 3 prize cards, and then if you can draw into the Zacian, it's going to be as simple as boss the other Mew and win the game from there. It's possible here.
Let's see, Juancho. Let's see if it happens.
Looks like they just found the Lost Vacuum off the mysterious tail. So that's definitely a way to get rid of the stadium.
There you go. Having to work around quite a bit less there, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Path to the Peak is going to be bumped here thanks to George's counter Lost Vacuum, Reversal Energy, also going into the Lost Zone as well. So it's funny, stacking up a bunch of cards in the Lost Zone, and you're not even a Lost Zone deck.
Alex here might be thinking, maybe he should have taken a knockout on this Mew. It has gotten so much value now that I think about it. Was able to find. It
actually has,
I mean, it was able to bump an entire Path to the Peak, right?
Yes, absolutely. All right, here we go. We see that Lumineon V coming out onto the field. We talked about it a bit, but this time it is not locked down from a Path to the Peak. It is able to use Luminous Sign, its ability to search out a supporter card from your deck, and it is going to be that Iono here for George. Forest Seal Stone also available still. It's coming down onto that Lumineon V as well. But we're going to do this Iono first. So at least George is going to get 6 cards here. Alex only going to have 3, but as long as you have Fusion Strike systems, there's a way.
100%. Again, I'm trying to think what you use the Forest Seal Stone for here. There's a couple of you don't have a draw supporter right now, but you do have access to potentially. I mean, yeah, with Forest Seal Stone, you can find yourself a supporter for next turn, or you can find yourself a Ralts. You do have a Curlia in hand, but hey, it just might be a Moonglow reverse for knockout.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of damage on that Mew VMAX, and you know what that means, Wancho. Mew VMAX going down. That is 3 prize cards for George as well, and that's going to tie things up between both of these players. Back onto Alex's side of the field, and I mean, that's what you see. Like, Cresselia is just so good, like, in this deck. I mean, really, in so many matchups. There's so much versatility with this card, with that Moonglow reverse, allowing you to move your damage counters onto your opponent's side of the field, take knockouts here. It could be single prize Pokemon, it could be giant VMAX Pokemon. That's what we saw there from George.
Yeah, again, now it's Alex's turn to play this Iono, forcing both. It's now the great equalizer. It's a little bit better than Judge, forces both players now to just draw 3. And something Alex needs to find here, he needs to find their lost vacuum. Right now, that Forest Seal Stone on the Laminion is just exerting so much pressure. Just the fact that George could potentially find anything they want from the deck, and maybe that could be something as like the Zacian if they got it off the prizes.
Probably. I think it was like one of the first bottom ones, so I assume probably being drawn into off the prizes.
But yeah, and again, just like that, Mew taking this knockout, and that's going to go back to George. Again, this Mysterious Tail Mew is just going to get one more activation. It's so much value.
It's been going all game here, Wancho.
If this Mew could find an Ultra Ball.
Can you imagine? We shall see. I don't know. I kind of believe in this little baby Mew here. It's been doing some work all game. It looks like George just counting out the energy here.
He has 7 energy in the discard pile, 2 in the hand. So if he uses this Forest Seal Stone to find an Ultra Ball, then discard the 2 energies he has in the hand, finds himself a Zacian, that's a knockout. I believe that's a knockout. We'll have to see here first, though. Mysterious Tail. Yeah, it looks at the top 6 cards of the deck can find themselves an item card. Watch it just be the Ultra Ball, and this Mew has just been the absolute MVP.
Well, it is a ball, but not the Ultra Ball. Just going to be a level ball here, but still some utility there.
The Zacian's there, but there's no more Ultra Ball in the deck.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yeah, there's no Ultra Ball in the deck, so you can't find that off the Forest Seal Stone, because you need to discard those energies to get value here. To get, you can't just find yourself Forest Seal Stone, find the Zacian, because then you can't discard the 2 energies in hand. I think he's going to have to find research. He's going to go Forest Seal Stone, Professor's Research, and if he can draw into the Zacian, he wins this game.
Oh my goodness. Is this what it's going to come down to in this Gardevoir matchup, Wancho? Oh my gosh.
I like it. It's a matter of draws.
I feel like we have gone through so much of the clock here for both of our players. Only 17 minutes left. But here we go. George going into the deck here off of that Forest Seal Stone. It means any single card from this deck.
Yeah, it has to be the research.
Wants, but it is that Professor's Research. You called it, Wancho. You called it.
My heart is pounding here. I'm at the edge of my seat. It's like the deck is fairly thin. This is 7 fresh cards. There's no other way, I believe, to find the Zacian. I don't think there's any more Fog Crystals. It's just hard draw into the Zacian. Professor's Research here. Here you go. 7 big cards. Can they find it? Level Ball, Iono, Curlia, Boss, Ralts, Curlia, another Boss.
Okay, Curlia?
You can't. They just played down the.
Oh no!
Just played down the Ralts.
Came down. Oh no!
You can play.
The deck was so thin too.
Oh, you can Mirage Step here.
No, that's Memory Skip.
Oh, sorry, Memory Skip. Memory Skip, 10 damage, and you can prevent your. You can prevent the opposing Pokemon from using attack. My heart is just beating.
I know, right? Wancho can't even find the words here. It is that intense.
But yeah, again, it's technically 0 damage because of the Oricorio, but you're playing it for the ability. Alex now, he needs to find a switch card and a boss's orders.
No, we have an Oricorio.
Oh, yeah, look at.
Actually, sorry, real quick, there's a Meloetta. Meloetta with 1 Fusion Strike energy attached. There's a Fusion Strike energy attached to the Mew VMAX as well. So if Alex can find themselves one more Fusion Strike energy from the hand, which he does have, that means all he's lacking is a boss's orders. He can easily retreat to that Meloetta. It does 210 damage. There's 1 power tablet being played. I love games like this where it depends on the draw. Unfortunately, George didn't draw the Zacian, so it's now a matter of, can Alex draw into the boss?
It's going to be a power tablet and a double turbo, so no draw there. I mean, you can burn down another power tablet, I guess, out of the hand here. That's what Alex is going to do. Lots of extra damage here on the board.
It's just 1 draw at a time. This Fusion Strike systems aren't efficient. 1 draw here.
Oh, it was
Nest
the
Ball's
Nest
not even
Ball.
playable.
Yeah, that is rough here. What else is in this hand, Wancho?
I believe I saw Battle VIP pass.
Oh, yeah, double turbo.
2 Alessa Sparkles. And a
Mew
double
VMAX.
yeah, nothing
yeah,
playable.
That is not playable whatsoever. Has it really come down to this? The hand is just unplayable here?
What is going on, Mew? You're supposed to draw like it's no one's business.
And thin like it's no one's business as well.
But there you go. It's going to be Melodious Echo, 210 damage. Alex goes down to 1 prize.
But now the pressure is on once again, Wancho. And this is only the first game between these players as well.
George has a Curlia. He has boss's orders in hand. He's going to draw 2 cards. Off the 2, he has to draw Zacian. I think that's it. And that's the only play here. Thin out the deck. Another level ball finds himself the mana. How many cards in hand and deck?
Yeah, I don't know.
5,
I
6?
I feel like it's still like a decent amount there. Seems like the shuffle. Oh, here we go. I think it was like 5.
All right, very
it was
important
just stand
shuffle.
out. Yeah, I know. Alex is sitting here shuffling, knowing what this is right now and how important this is here.
Oh, mysterious. Have we mysterious tailed?
No, I think the coin just wasn't taken off. I don't think George Mysterious tailed yet.
Okay, so 5 cards.
Yeah, that's all that's left.
There's a Fog Crystal.
Oh, there was
Fog Crystal finds the Zacian V.
I thought there was no Fog Crystal, no.
Miscounted. There it is. This Mew is just MVP of this game.
Oh my gosh! Do you think Alex is gonna take out the baby Mew next time?
Oh, for sure. Next time, that's priority number 1. I'm boss's ordering that Mew.
Top
just
target.
like that. Fog Crystal finds the Zacian V. Storm Slash is 60 damage plus 30 for each energy attached. Psychic Embrace accelerates 9 energy.
All of
Boss's orders, do we see it?
Yes, yeah, tons. I think there was like 2 of them in the hand. Yeah. Moved up the Oricorio. That's definitely what you want, right? No big deal. Look at that. Wow.
What?
Goof GG pulling it out there. Gardevoir taking a win here in our first match between these players. And there's only 12 minutes left on the clock here, too. And these players still have to set up for another game as well. So things are coming down to this, coming down to the wire. Of course, this is the winning in as well, so these players need those points to get into this day 2. So everything is on the line, but I'm sure George super happy to pull out a win here in that match. But wow, it got dicey there.
It got very exciting. Those are the type of matches I love watching. And I think both players played it to their absolute best. Both of them just had win condition. It was within grasp so many times.
I loved that, yes. I feel like
again, it's the Mew. Next time we knock out Mew is priority number 1.
I feel like every time, Wancho, we go back and forth from these turns, and you'd be like, okay, now this is their win condition, and it's only like 2 cards away, back and forth, and that was amazing, yeah, for both of these players. Alex, of course, some comedy there at the end, promoted that Oricorio there. Such a great sport. I mean, that was a fantastic match, and I'm excited to see where things go into this next match. But yeah, these players really worked through. I mean, that was a very long, grindy first game here with a lot of intricate scenarios happening. But I think it really came down to Alex just had a bricked hand.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you didn't have any. They discard. If they just, like, one Ultra Ball could have been the difference between really drawing into those bosses' orders. But at the same time, yeah, missing out as well as on that turn where he could have psychically, if he found the Mew, he psychically 300 damage.
Wancho, look at those prizes.
2 Kirlias, Radiant Greninja. Hey, you know what's not in there? Mew. He's fine.
That's true.
You don't have to worry.
Yeah, the Mew. The MVP is still in the deck. Let's go. Yeah, those are some interesting prizes for both of our players, I would say here. But here we go. 10 minutes left for both these players in a game 2 here in our last round of day 1. This is our Swiss round 9. Alex starting us off here. Of course, Alex did take a loss in the first game, so opting to go first in this match now. So 2 Genesect already down onto the bench. Mew V in the active position. Meloetta going to come down because we saw that Battle VIP pass already. So pretty solid setup so far.
I want to see George's hand. Whenever people are in a spot like this where they need to win as fast as possible, I always think, can I donk my opponent?
You're always talking about that, Wancho. You are always talking about the donks.
I just think very positively because, again, when you're Alex, your only way to win this game is you have to take this game 1 extremely fast. Game 2, sorry, extremely fast. And looking at the hand, there's a level ball, there's a way. Oricorio being played out, and then just a couple of more Fusion Strike systems. Forest Seal Stone, again, great start. It's so seldom to see Mew really have a bad start, to be honest.
I don't know. I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. It's pretty rare. It is pretty rare because you can just get all of those Pokemon out, draw into tons of cards, and have lots of options. But you could still somehow be in a position where the cards are unplayable and your hand bricks over and over and over again. But that is not the scenario Alex is in. A decent setup here for the turn. We did see the energy come down. Forest Sealstone is down as options in the future as well. And several Pokemon on the field here for Alex, but it's just going to be that pass over to George. Let's see what this opening hand looks like for George now, starting with the Battle VIP pass. So we're going to see some more Pokemon here. I didn't get a glance at the rest of the hands, but as long as you can establish a bunch of your Ralts out there, you're usually sitting in a pretty good spot.
I mean, spoiler warning, he had a Battle VIP pass. I think he had a good hand.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Again, especially when you can find the MVP, Mysterious Tail Mew.
Yeah, but you know, George is also sitting here finding out that there's 2 Kirlia in the prize cards as well. You know, you always look at your Pokemon that are in the deck, I'm sure, making sure you're mapping out what's going on. But hey, you know, Wancho, the Mew is there. Yeah. It's on the board now.
Mysterious Tail Mew could find yourself, a rare candy. You could go rare candy straight into our Shiny Arcana Gardevoir. Who needs Kirlias, right?
Yeah, who needs them? I actually would prefer that, so I'd like them as an option. All right, here we go. Mysterious Tail MVP here for George. Let's see what it can get. It's just going to be a pal pad. Yeah. That is kind of
little bit tired here.
Yeah, kind of lackluster here. That is a bit of a late game card once you have some supporters in the discard pile. That's what it's used for, to recycle them back into the deck. But of course, there's only 2 cards right now in that discard pile.
Neither a supporter just yet. Again, looking at George's hand, he has an Ultra Ball, 2 energies to discard. He has, I believe, a level ball as well, so he can fill up the bench anyway. Yeah. And then play Iona.
True. That is true. We saw, like, back-to-back, almost every turn, Iona was played here for George, and it was pretty effective, I mean, I would say.
Oh, no. Is George just now counting the Kirlias? Is this where he's going to find out the news?
Potentially, yeah. And the Radiant Greninja is also in the prize cards as well. So seeing a lot of missing Pokemon here, and that just makes it a little bit more difficult to navigate around. But another Ralts is going to join us here on the bench. That memory skip Ralts. Okay, you're like, Mirage Step. Yeah, they sound really similar. They sound very similar.
In my mind, you know, Mirage Step, like he's sidestepping the
the
attack.
Yeah, that's so true. Honestly, that makes sense.
But yeah, there it is. Ultra Ball can find themselves one more Pokemon. Curious what just find a Ralts, I guess. There's no Greninja. You don't want to drop a Zacian just yet. So, hey, an entire family of Ralts in play now. Every single Ralts in the deck.
Yeah.
Fortunately, only some of them will be able to evolve.
Yeah, only some of them indeed. It's going to be kind of sad here, but I'm interested to see how George is able to navigate around this, because if he's still able to pull things out, come on top here with 2 Curlia in the prize cards, that would be extraordinary, because that is a very uphill battle to climb for a Gardevoir player. But I don't know, it's at least a little bit of help here to draw into some more cards on this initial turn here for George. So both players going to get 6 cards in their hands.
Nothing good in George's hand, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
You need a rare candy turn that Gardevoir to turn into a Shining Arcana next turn.
Not looking good.
The pressing thing is that George only has 2 Curlias to work with. One of them is Mirage Step, so that doesn't refine.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's only 1 refinement in the deck.
Yeah, when you're playing the Mirage Step Curlia, if you're not using the Mirage Step, then it's really just hurting you, right? Yes. I mean, it's really just the second evolution, or the first evolution, I should say. All right, we're back to Alex Wilson's side now. We're working with these 6 cards off of the Iono for Alex. So looks like, looking at the hand here, it's like a lot of very playable cards. The Box of Disasters in hand, a couple of energy, but gonna start with that Forest Seal Stone here for Alex. So searching the deck for any card here off of that.
Alex, here's game plan number 1. Knock out that Mysterious Tail Mew. And that's it. That's all you have to worry about.
You can't take out their own kind, Wancho. It's just a baby. All right, we'll see, though. But I don't know, man. That Mew has had some wild utility for George. But if that's gone as well, that's just another obstacle George will have to get through, which is huge. So, yeah, I definitely think that is honestly a huge priority there. But, you know, Alex does not at least have that knowledge that the Curly are in the prize cards. So we'll see how Alex chooses to navigate this turn. Tons of cards in the hand here, but it's going to be the Alessa's Sparkle here, targeting that Mew V and the Meloetta on the bench. You have to target those Pokemon to attach those Fusion Strike energy to. So one of those for each of those Pokemon coming out of the deck and onto them. And then the Pal Pad's just going to quickly reshuffle that Alessa's Sparkle back into the deck as well.
That's something you don't want in the deck necessarily, since so Alex is definitely just doing that to be able to draw a little bit more. Alex here is debating on playing the Power Tablet as well. Not sure what he's trying to find here. Technically, you definitely want a Mew VMAX just to make it a little bit safer, but hey, you could Psychic Leap this Mew for the knockout as well. But hey, there it is. Mew VMAX was drawn off the Fusion Strike system, and just like that, things are looking really good here for Alex. But unfortunately, again, there's only 3 minutes left on the clock. I highly doubt we're going to see this game 2 come into completion. Again, sometimes, honestly, when I think that when you play a deck like Gardevoir EX, you essentially treat your matches as best of 1 sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, I guess. These players could have some sort of gentleman's agreement in play as well, potentially, to kind of say, like, well, either you're taking the win or I'm taking the win. Sometimes it's based off of board state or something like that, because, again, both of these players are trying to make it into a day 2 here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, but George already is up 1 game.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, George just wins.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's definitely in a winning position.
If it goes to time, yeah. If Alex can't respond or win the game before a tie, then George just wins.
I don't think it's possible here unless... No, I don't... George is not going to drop multiple...
Unless we're playing Turbo. But I don't think we're going to be playing Turbo here on George's side of the field.
Yeah, again, just finding themselves. The Cresselia does have a level wall, does have the Zacian. Again, not really going to need to do anything. Wait, Alex, did you not knock out the Mysterious Tail Mew? Have you not learned the lesson? Looks like they opted to knock out a benched Rawls earlier instead.
I'm telling you, it's just a baby. You can't.
George does find themselves a level ball, so they will be able to at least find themselves a Curlia, potentially the one that can refine, the only one that can refine in the deck.
The only one. The single Curlia with refinement.
Again, refinement.
It's going to carry the refining of this deck on its back.
And a very, very important card. Very powerful card. I think it's honestly the main reason Gardevoir is playable in the first place, right? It's, yes, you're a stage 2 deck, but when your stage 1 Pokemon is this good, it just works out.
Yeah, it's fluid. It just makes sense in this deck. It's discarding those energy, which, contributes to your engine of getting them in there and then accelerated later in the game for your attacks, drawing into more cards. And that's exactly what we saw there. George drawing into 2 additional cards and going back into the deck here for a level ball. Of course, that's a different Curlia here. That is the Mirage Step Curlia, but still acting as a stage 1 to evolve into on one of these Ralts. And set up those Gardevoir later down the line.
Yep, exactly. And not much else they could play. Again, they've already refined. They could...
Lost Vacuum.
Vacuum, just
that works.
thinning out the deck, really. Oh, no, the Box of Disaster, 100%. That's a pretty important Lost Vacuum.
Alex is like, oh, I forgot that was on there. Box of Disaster? You sure you want that? Yeah. That's Zacian V is going into the Lost Zone. They're off that Lost Vacuum. As well as, that Box of Disaster is gone, wiped off the fields. Now, of course, our timer is at 0. Are we surprised, Wancho? I feel like our round 9 always goes to time, it seems, and I'm tired. I'm talking about gentlemen's agreements, and I'm exhausted here today.
I think all my energy went into the game 1 of this game, of this match.
I know.
There was so
long.
much energy. There was so many different ways either player could have won.
Yeah.
And now it's now we go to time.
Yeah, now it's that time, yeah. A little bit more anticlimactic, but hey, I mean, it's still a winning in Wancho, so this is exciting at the end of the day because we're going to see how things end here. Mew VMAX going to get a double turbo. We're seeing tons of cards being drawn into here from Alex. Now playing turbo mode, super fast.
Yeah, this is the Mew board. It's just you have the Oricorio, you have your extra HP, you have your Meloetas, you have Genesect for Draza. For some reason, everyone gets a 4 Seal Stone.
You get a 4 Seal Stone. You get a 4 Seal Stone. Yeah, pretty much. Power tablets flying around. Boss's orders is going to bring up a mana fee.
Wilson just refuses to knock out this Mew.
The Mew will not go down. Can't do it. Mana fee's going down instead. That's going to be 1 prize card.
Yeah.
One of many.
I'm pretty sure we're just playing.
Yeah, we're just playing this out here. Today between both of our players. It's just going to be a pass back over to Alex. Path to the Peak coming down. Less sparkle here.
Ooh, that Oricorio is 1 energy attachment away from being able to Glistening Droplets.
Glistening Droplets.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it here. Up, Cram-O-Matic, we're still going. Tails, unfortunately, and hey, you can't draw anymore. The Path of the Peak is in play. Wait, didn't he just play the Path of the Peak this turn? Or was that last turn?
No, I think that was this turn. I'm pretty sure that was this turn. Yeah, you can only play 1 stadium per turn, so unless I didn't see. They're switching. There you go. Path to the Peak coming back. We're not going shopping today yet with that town store. There we go. The handshake there. George Gebhardt making it into day 2 here, wrapping up our Swiss round 9 here in Pittsburgh. And I'm sure going to get geared up. Super excited now, but has to gear up for day 2 because there's a lot more Pokemon to be played here for Goof. GG.
Yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite matches to watch. Both players just, honestly, they were having the time of their lives there. There was a lot on the line. But at the end of the day, it's about playing the Pokemon trading card game with the community.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's always great to see, I mean, Alex Wilson, such a well-known player, incredible accomplishments in the game of Pokemon TCG. But George Gebhardt, who you could say is kind of I mean, has played an entire TCG season.
Yes.
This is the second season now for him, but still an up-and-comer in the scene, and now making into another day two here at our very first regional of the season. So exciting to see.
Not too bad. Who knew Pokemon Unite skills translate over to the Pokemon TCG? Maybe I have to try that game. Maybe it does translate the other way too. But here we go. We see
playing some Unite.
A couple of replays there. Something I loved about this first game as well is just the stadium kept changing.
Yeah, true.
And it was all different stadiums. We went from the Artazone to Lost City Collapse Stadium.
Yeah, the Collapse Stadium, the shopping center, that town store.
And then for some reason, we ended up in the mountain.
Yeah, we were in the mountain, out in the cold, and unfortunately for Alex Wilson, that's where he's going to be as well.
And this, of course, the big turn, just taking 3 prize cards.
I love
with
the
extra
zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Makes it easier to see as well. And
I know, I'm very blind, so thank you, production, for that.
And then that was the research trying to find the Zacian V for the win, but again, just Mysterious Tail Mew is the MVP. This is the Mysterious Tail Mew deck.
You see Goof here, smiling there as taking that last knockout needed with that Zacian V. So great. I love to see the reactions from both our players. Whether that's happy reactions of, yes, I finally got there, got this knockout, winning a game here potentially, or it's, you know, frustration, sadness. That's interesting to see sometimes too, because you really get to see on their faces, you know, what they're working through with these